Thank you everyone for coming. Your hard work is almost over. Yeah, but I hope you guys had a good weekend, a good Friday, and a good Monday. I hope you guys saw the email that I sent on Friday, which sort of clarified a couple of things. We said that you're a bit more welcome to sort of extend the boundaries of the problem statement, because some people are feeling a bit too constrained. So as long as you're still answering the problem and you're still solving the problem, we sort of let you do what you want with it. I think a lot of people found that quite helpful. So I'm super excited to get this going. So I won't drag on for too long. I would just say to the Energy Hack group, if you could give speaking permissions to Mobin and Nazareno, that would be good, and then we'll move on. So a couple of things. Thank you to everyone that came today, and thank you for all your hard work over the last 3 days. Thank you to Monash Talent, who's here today and being one of our judges. That's Naz. He's the executive director of Monash Talent, as well as the Monash Professional Pathways. So he's done a lot of these judging in the past. So he's definitely one who will understand what a good presentation looks like and what a good pitch sounds like. And of course, thank you to the sponsors. I'll thank them again a bit later as well. Here's Naz and Mobman. So the rules of the pitch. So 3 minutes is what we're looking for, but we will cut you off at 3 minutes 30. So try and keep it to 3 minutes, but we understand, you know, a few seconds here and there is not too bad, but we will cut you off at 3 minutes 30. If we could try and have one speaker at a time, and if you're not speaking, if you could turn your camera and your microphone off, that would be good. This is also being live streamed to YouTube. So if you wanted to invite your friends and family to watch, then you're more than welcome to. I think I'll post the link to the YouTube channel in just a second, but I think it's on the booklet as well on the last page. Yeah, so you've got 3 minutes to do your pitch, and then that'll be followed by roughly 3 minutes of Q&A from the judges. We'll prioritize judge questions over audience questions, but if the judges don't have too many questions, then we'll open up to the audience and they can ask a question as well. I know we can't really check, but pay attention to the other team's pitches just out of sort of respect, and you might learn something new, and you might, you know, find something useful for the next time you do one of these. So pay attention, and yeah. The agenda today. So a lot of you have asked for the order of today. So we'll hear from Naz to introduce Monash Talent soon. At the moment, it's looking like we'll start off with Vestas. So at 3:25, we'll start with Vestas, and the Vestas judges will come in at around 3:20. Well, then that'll be followed by Q&A. So team 1 and 2 will go. At 3:45, we'll then go to Woodside until 3:55. We'll then go for a little break for 15 minutes. Then we'll go with MEI from 4:15 until 4:25. 4:15 until 4:35. And then we'll do the Energy Club presentation from 4:35. That'll be then followed by networking and time for the judges to collate their scores. And then we hope to announce the winners around 5 o'clock. And then this will be open probably until around 5:30 or a little bit later if you guys want to stick around and network and meet whoever you want. If you want to look at that agenda again, on the right-hand side next to the Remo logo, there's a little calendar button, and you should be able to see the agenda. We'll figure out what team 1 and 2 from both, we'll figure out who goes first in Vestas as Naz is doing his speech. So I'll hand over to Naz now to introduce Monash Talent. So thank you, Naz.
Great, thanks, Alex. And hi to all, and good luck to you all. I'm really looking forward to today's Energy Hackathon. Just by way of introduction, as Alex said, I'm the Executive Director of Monash Talent. I have been with the business for about 18 months. Prior to that, I previously worked in gaming, airlines, healthcare and energy. And I've had really looking forward to today because I've spent 14 years in the energy sector with one of the leading energy companies in Australia, but also have consulted overseas to the US, UK and Canada from an energy perspective as well. A little bit around Monash Talent. So Monash Talent, for those people that aren't aware, hopefully everyone participating today is registered for Monash Talent, or if you haven't registered after today, you will. It's in essence, a recruitment agency owned by the university, Monash University. We're here to help and work closely with graduates from Monash University and help you secure jobs once you've completed your course. A little bit about what we do and how we support industry. So we work very closely with various organisations out there in the marketplace. We provide internships to them and as well as graduates. We do about 2,500 placements a year. Predominantly, most of that is in the internship space, but we also then work with employers and provide graduates to them. We work with three types of employers: the big end of town major employers that have got formal graduate programs where each year they have an intake of graduates. We work with them to provide the sourcing and then the screening and selection of candidates for them that feeds into their graduate program. The second group of employers we work with is what we refer to as SMEs, small medium enterprises, where they're looking to have an annual intake of graduates. They don't necessarily have a large formal graduate program, but they look to take on board anywhere between 5 to 10 graduates a year. And then the third category of employers that we work with are those employers that on an ad hoc basis want to take on board graduates, and normally that's anywhere between 1 to 4 graduates a year. And those types of employers normally don't have a formal graduate program to connect graduates to, but they just want to bring on board graduates into their organisation. So we've been around for just over 2 years. We're rapidly growing. Our key focus is to make sure that we support graduates. So the first thing you can do is to go onto Monash Talent website and register your details. It's free. Put in your details, add your CV, and we're constantly working with employers. We've got a job board, and as the jobs come in, we then search our database as the first port of call and try and match graduates to jobs, and then we'll be in contact with you to talk more specifically around the job opportunity. We're also growing our industry customer base. We're rapidly, in the last sort of 6 months, we work with 2,000 employers at the moment, and we're rapidly seeking to sort of grow and expand our footprint with employers. If you, as I said, if you haven't heard from us or heard about us, we're about to sort of early next year make a big splash across the university. So no doubt you will be hearing from us. So once again, I wish everyone luck today. Really looking forward to seeing what you come up with and looking forward to hearing your presentations. Thanks, Alex.
Thank you, Naz. All right, so we'll start briefly when the Vestas reps are here. They should be here in 3 minutes. So I'll just go through the running order for today. So first up, we'll do Vestas, as I said, and we'll go team. What's that? Table 10. It will then go to Team Rocket, Table 14. We'll then go Woodside, and we'll go Team Transformers. So I'll write this in the chat as well. Table 3. We will then go Team Pentagon. Table 2. We'll then go for break. And then we get back. It'll be Team Rainmakers. Followed by Team The Indecisives. 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 Then we'll follow up, and then we'll finish up with team equilibrium. I didn't do easy words to spell. And then we'll go for a quick 10-minute break again. And as we finalize the scores, and then hopefully we can get the results out by 5 o'clock. Also, last thing, we'll put, unless you guys don't want to, you can tell us if you wouldn't like to, but we'll put all the teams' pictures and slides on our website, just so that anybody can see them, and the sponsors can go and have a look at them again if they want to. And then we'll probably also make a blog post about the winning team and just about the event in general. And it might be nice just to get a sort of comment by the winning team that we can quote on the blog piece. So let's see if Bessis is here. I don't know if they are just yet. Oh, Michael is here. That's good. So we can give Michael some speaking permissions, please. And I think Sanji was also joining. We might just have to wait 1 minute for Sanji to join. 5, 6, 7. And just for the committee, because we have a maximum of 10 speakers at once, so depending on how many people speak from the team, we might have to remove speakers' rights from yourselves or from Naz and Mobbin, and then we'll give them back after each presentation. All right.
First team, the presenters.
Yeah, so if you could please write in the chat who from your team is speaking, and along with their name, their full name, that'll make it a lot easier for us. You can have as many speakers as you want, but if it's only one of you speaking, then we'll probably only make one of you able to speak. So team flash drive, if you could tell us your speaker's name, please, in the chat. Team flash drive. Who's that? So Divyansh, Nikhil. Here you go. So Divyansh and Bhargav. So if you could please make them speakers, that'd be good. Thank you. All right, great. And Michael, are you able to unmute yourself? Is it working? Michael Perkins. I don't know.
Hi, could you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Bhargav.
Yeah, just checking.
Michael Perkins, just
Thanks.
check his audio is working. Might not be.
Divyansh, you okay? Can you just check your microphone?
Yeah, it works, I guess.
Yeah, good.
I just sent a message to Michael, so just wait for a reply.
All right, great.
Yeah.
All right, well, if you guys want to get your presentations ready, like I've did Divyansh, then we'll start. The second Michael and Sanji are here. I don't have any frantic emails yet, so that's a good sign. All right, so Sanji's here, so that's a good sign. All right. All right, Fasal, you might have to go through the Microsoft Teams link because I'm not sure if it's working for them. So if you could provide Michael the Microsoft Teams link, then we'll get started.
Yeah.
I'll also say that just if you're not talking, if you turn your camera and microphone off, then it makes the screen a little bit bigger for those who are talking, which is useful for when people are screen sharing, so you can see the speaker and the presentation. Sort of one annoying thing about Remo is that you can't change the sizes of individual screens. All right, so Fasal, once you're ready to go, then we'll get you started. Bhagav or Divyansh, you can probably start sharing your screen just to make sure it works, or however you're going to present. Otherwise, you can email to us and we can share your screen for you. There we go, that's working. All right, so we'll wait for the word from
I think we are ready to go now, and I'm sharing my screen to them.
All right, awesome, cool. So if we just make sure we have our cameras off and the microphones off, then we're good to go. All right, well, good luck you two.
Sure. Hello everyone, we are Team Flash Dive and we are working on the problem given by Vestas. It's a problem to design a hybrid energy park of 300 megawatts with a constraint that the output should be minimum 50 megawatts in the given time frame, northwestern region of Victoria. The issues which we are going to solve is weak grid, fluctuation in energy generation, and community issues. Next. So our solution is a hybrid energy park, which is a wind-dominated energy park with solar as a supplement. So we are not going only for wind or only for solar because as in renewable energy sources, there's a lot of variation in generation over the time due to the wind speed and the sun, clouds, and everything else. Combining both of them will smoothen out the generation as can be shown in the graph. And the rated capacity of installation is given down below. It's 225 megawatt wind, 75 solar as a maximum rated capacity. Now next. So one of the main issues in weak grid is like there's a lot of fluctuation in energy generation and there's over energy generation sometimes for renewable energy sources. So most of the time it's either curtailment, like you cut off the energy generation, or store the energy into some other source like battery, hydrogen, etc. So we are going for storage and we are going for hydrogen storage. Why hydrogen? Because hydrogen is very versatile. It can not only be used to generate electricity again and supply it to the grid if you need energy and you're on low on generation for wind and solar. It can also be used in many different ways. You can mix it with natural gas and provide it to homes for heating, cooking, etc. You can use it to make ammonia. You can use it to make methanol and other industry chemicals. So that's why using hydrogen is very useful, and Australian government is targeting to enhance the hydrogen production in Australia. So why not batteries? Why hydrogen? Like if you see most of the hybrid parks, they use batteries now. But the reason we are not going for batteries is because batteries are best for short-term storage, if you're talking about 3 to 6 hours of storage. But as you go for a long-term storage to account for seasonal fluctuations, batteries are not that viable. They have expensive material cost and they have low energy density compared to hydrogen. So that's why we are going for hydrogen instead of batteries. Now I'll hand over to Bhargav to talk about community issues. Bhargav, we can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. So the next part of the challenge is the local community and Airbnb resistance. We have the solution which works on the principle of strategize, aware, and involve the community. We have 3 steps. First is the stakeholder identification and mapping. Second is community consultative committee, which will work for community engagement tasks throughout the life cycle of the project. Essentially, it will also maintain and manage the community engagement funds, which will be discussed in the further sections. Third stage is the development of sites as the tourism hub, which will benefit Airbnb and local businesses. So stakeholder identification and mapping, our solution is to make a matrix by understanding and identifying the stakeholder in terms of their influence and interest areas, where the skeptics and bystanders are potential disagreement of our project buy-in, like the landholders and the local communities, and the supporters and helpers are like local club, which will support and provide opportunities for our project sale. This will allow us to prepare effective SWOT analysis and strategy of our projects. We even identify few of our key stakeholders as mentioned below. The next stage is the benefits of community engagement, where we have economic benefits, where sharing the partial of our benefits with the community in terms of payment. And second is the doing business in terms of direct, indirect jobs and local business activities. Community engagement funds we will be distributing in 3 sectors, where one sector is community development like aged care, transportation and other upgradation. Second is environmental, where we have the solar installation at the local areas and other activities like that. Third is the educational, where we have school trips, wind farm tours, and the development of tourism sectors and education programs. So that all benefits from the community engagement. So thanks for our presentation.
Great, thank you very much. We went a little bit over time, unfortunately, but I did pause it when we had some microphone issues. All right, do we have any questions from the judges? And if you have any questions in the audience, put them in the Q&A and we'll try and get to them.
One question to the team. Did you consider, as an economic benefit, exporting the technology to other countries?
Okay, we haven't considered exporting the technologies, but we considered like supplying hydrogens to nearby industries and the community. But yeah, that's one avenue which we can think later on.
Okay, thank you.
Hey guys, I was wondering if you could elaborate a bit more on the tourist destination aspect of this initiative.
Yeah, so the thing is, there is one area where there has been recent studies which shows that if the efforts are made to develop the wind farm areas as a tourism spot by making some park and recreational constructions, this will allow us to have a growth in the tourism sector near the wind farm regional areas. And there has been few success stories in that which shows that it has a great potential, and where there is a resistance from Airbnb to the area where our construction is being arranged, that could potentially help them to increase their business activities as well.
Thanks for that.
question from Michael. I think Faisal will be asking it on his behalf. So Faisal, once you're ready. Ready? There we go.
Question is, what benefit would the program bring specifically to Western Australia?
Actually, the program is supposed to was supposed to be in the northwestern Victoria. So
Yeah, but let's continue with the. So for benefits, first of all, there are many projects which are happening in northwestern Victoria, but which are stuck in development stage or even before going to that, because government is right now due to weak grid issues, there's been huge queues for connections, and AEMO, which is the Energy Regulatory Authority, they're taking one connection one by one because there's a lot of fluctuations and variability in the parks there, in the renewable energy parks. So using this method, this technology will help to ease out that irregularity and fluctuations and avoid overgeneration. And this can be used by other operators also, or other plants also, to enhance the suitability of their parks or their designs for the current grid conditions of northwestern Victoria. And the second thing is, like, it can bring tourism. Like, if you focus on community engagement, it will bring tourism to northwestern Victoria and promote the tourism there, or the business and economic.
All right, well, brilliant. Thank you very much, Devansh and Bhargav, and thank you all to Team Flash Drive. Thank you very much. We'll now move on to Team Rocket. So if you could stop sharing your screen, please, and then swap over the speaker's rights from Team Flash Drive over to Julie, Cass, and George. That would be great, thank you. And Bhargav, you'll have to stop sharing your screen as well, please. Great, so Cassidy, you should now be able to share your screen, or whoever is going to be sharing the screen.
Julie will be doing that. Got George just waiting. There we go.
Thanks.
Radio. Julie, would you be able to
I'll just share my screen.
All right, so whenever you guys are ready, you can hit it off.
Too good.
Ooh, I'll cut my camera off for the time being.
Screen share is not working.
Permissions. Otherwise, you can email it to us, and we can quickly do it. Or teammates.
What, should we give a 30 more seconds?
Yeah, no worries, no rush.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's not making the PDF to the screen. Yeah.
Would you be able to just share the Canva?
Are you able to email it to us? We can quickly do it.
Yeah.
Sure. So if it's energy.org, then we can do it.
Okay, George, can you share your Canva and your screen?
I haven't tried yet. Let me try.
I think it's best if we allow them to. Just because Unless you can share your Chrome.
Oh, so you just emailed to us, did you?
Yeah.
All right, great. I should have it in 1 second. Haven't gotten it yet. Is it in the spam? No.
Oh, actually, I think it works on the Canva. Actually, Julie, could you try to get it on the Canva and actually do it like that?
Yeah, I'll get it on.
So, Michael, hold on a second. Ooh, I think Julie's going to get it up.
Wonderful.
Just so, yeah.
It's still not working on my George, if you can share the Canva.
Wait, are you showing the application window? Or
Yeah. So I've clicked the application window and then it comes up. It doesn't come up on your end. So I've just clicked share to the application window and then it just takes me back to Remo.
Okay.
I've got it, so I can share it.
Oh, okay.
We'll just indicate to you when to change slides.
Yeah.
So,
All right. All right, can you guys see all this?
Yes, we can.
Oh, sorry. All right, can you guys see this?
Yes.
All right.
So we get full screen or?
Yep, sure. I'll just mute myself first.
Oh, thanks.
Radio. Let's begin. So thank you all so much for your patience. So I'm Cass and we're Team Rocket, and today we're going to be walking you through our proposal for the Dimbulla Renewables Park. Next slide, please. So let's just cut to the chase. Dimbulla is an ideal spot for a hybrid renewables project. It's got the solar resources of Northern Vic, it's got the wind resources of Southern Vic, and it's only 70 k's from Horsham, ensuring minimal transmission line construction. The nearby port and tower cane manufacturing hub of Portland will ensure minimal traffic disruption for component transport. Next slide, please. So we'll be constructing a 324 megawatt peak renewables park using 50 megawatt of wind towers, 212 megawatt of solar panels, and a 62 megawatt gas generator to ensure nighttime baseline generation at an estimated cost of $790 million over the first 20 years. Let's move on to George, who will explain how we get the community and local stakeholders to welcome such a large project.
Next. Thanks, Cass. Often with large wind energy projects, there is a high degree of community backlash against the installation of new wind towers. Actually, let's go back to the last slide. Windmills to Murals is a community engagement program that aims to address this backlash and engage the community in the development of the Dimbulla Renewables Park. Next. Within the program, each turbine will be allocated to either local artists, primary schools, or volunteer groups. Wind towers will become a blank canvas for the community and can inspire the next generation of STEM. Wind towers pose a unique challenge for artists and students to get creative. Schools could design large murals to be painted around the base. Individual class groups could be allocated separate sections of the base, or small tiles could be given to each student, a mosaic of creativity. For an added local touch, each wind tower can be given a name. This can be dedicated to community leaders or even those who contribute to the project, such as the landowners or local workers, creating an additional level of engagement within the community. Let's return to Cass, who will explain how we strengthen the West Victoria grid for future renewable projects.
Thanks, George. So right now, sorry, next slide, please. Right now, the biggest problem affecting the West Victorian grid is frequency stability. Supplying higher energy than there is demand can result in overfrequency, and with rooftop PV penetration becoming more and more intense, that threat's ever stronger. Next one, please. So the root of frequency instability is intermittent power generation. Unlike gas and coal-fired turbines, there's no inertia to a renewable system to keep the output stable. And here's how we fix it. Synchronous condensers add inertia to a power system, and they stabilize oscillating grid frequencies. The installation of 2 synchronous condensers in Horsham and Mildura will protect the West Victorian grid from this and open the way for renewable penetration in the region. Next slide, please. As Mildura has lines extending to both South Australia and New South Wales, upgrading the Horsham-Mildura 220 kilovolt line to a 500 kilovolt line will incentivize future renewables projects in the region and allow the state to sell energy to other states in times of need. Next slide, please. So this project will provide hundreds of jobs, secure the grid from frequency oscillation, and pave Victoria's way to a renewable future. Thank you all so much for your time.
All right, brilliant. Thank you very much, guys. Great presentation and on time. So good job. All right, well, do we have any questions from any of the judges, first of all? And if you have any questions for participants, put them in the Q&A. All right, I can start off with a question. Marvin?
Hey guys, that was really good. In terms of the jobs you'd create, how many would you estimate would be created in the short term, and then also like long-term ongoing jobs be created by this?
In the short term, there are about 150 people employed in the wind turbine manufacturing hub in Portland. I would estimate approximately 100 to 200 staff in general involved in the construction. And during maintenance, I would imagine somewhere around the 20 to 30 mark.
Hi, team. Question from me in terms of using wind generation as a source of energy, and the wind is blowing at night. Can you elaborate a little bit more in terms of what you would do with that excess supply of energy?
So we interpreted the question as the baseline generation as being a minimum. So we didn't address excess power being generated at night. Although, given the closeness of Portland aluminium, which is a major power draw, it would be quite easy to sell that energy to them at a low price, at a competitive price, I should say.
Great, thank you.
All right, for start with, any questions from Paul or Sanji? Otherwise, are there any questions from the audience? I got a few. Oh, sorry. Have you seen? You had images there of windmills, so wind turbines that had already been sort of decorated. Are those sort of examples of successful case studies around the world, or where were those sort of from?
From our research, we couldn't find any existing programs which kind of had the same goals, but I think they're probably, well, the images that we got were kind of small scale people just wanting to decorate wind turbines.
I can say that there was one that's where the original pictures came from. So that's where we got the inspiration to potentially start off a similar program in Australia, which doesn't exist at the moment. So that is kind of a case study for the success of such a program and just how we're going to implement it.
All right, brilliant. Thank you very much. I think we have a question from Sanji, so I'll let Fasal ask on behalf again.
Put up, like but I think Alex cleared my questions had in my mind. So just in terms of when you did the case study, when you took that arts in a turbine, my question is around whether it's practical, because you said that it's you're going to give that turbine for a bunch of kids to do some creativity around the turbine. Did you consider height when you consider that option?
Have them as a shell before they even, but they'll kind of just and be, I guess, in a place where a lot of community can access it and join in the creativity and the painting and things like that. So it wouldn't be after the fact, but it would. So it would be before the fact, not after it's been built and is up.
We also discussed just using sheets of PVC and having children paint them in schools and then just attaching them after the fact.
I think we're still waiting on Neil from Woodside to join, I believe. If not, Neil, just just post in the chat if you're here. There is one question here. Why we use solar more than wind from Divyarch? I'm not sure if that's a question or a statement.
No, it's actually a really good question. So when we ran our optimization model, we took into account two factors. We took into account the price per watt, which we sourced from a local solar distributor. And we also took into account the watts per square meter. So we tried to keep that in balance, and we wanted the space required for both systems, the wind and the solar, given it's a hybrid plant, to be approximately equal. So we wouldn't have any land being wasted with only wind or only solar. We wanted to get a good mix. And the 212 to 50 megawatt ratio was the closest we could get to an optimal system.
Great, thank you very much, George, Julie, Cassidy, and who was the last one on your team?
Blake. He wasn't able to make it today.
Oh, okay. All right, well, thank you all. Great presentation. And you guys can turn your cameras and microphones off if you'd like. In the case that Neil isn't yet here, he might be having some trouble logging on. Would the Monash Energy Institute or the Monash Energy Club teams be willing to go next? Just let us know in the chat if you're happy to. And I might try and get in contact with Neil. So whoever's ready from those teams, if they could go next, that'd be great. No one's putting up their hand. No, we can potentially take a 10-minute break and then power through the rest once we're ready. All right, Josh, great. Thank you very much, Josh. So now, Josh, what was your team name again? Now, okay, Josh, that's Equilibrium. So Basil, Mahmood, Josh, and Shanizar. Which of you are speaking today?
All four of us.
All four. All right, great.
you see my screen? Okay, sweet. Are you guys ready? Which
Can you get me?
yep.
Okay. Yeah, we can start. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, we would like to present to you Ampera. In today's society, people want to live more sustainable, but are not sure how to achieve that. The studies show a 3 to 10% reduction in energy consumption when customers are aware of consumption behavior. Although using more efficient devices are significantly reduced in energy usage, poor maintenance and management of these devices are the main reason of energy wasted. Data shows that around 75% of energy used at Monash is in 3 services that are mainly consumed by students and staff. However, during the pandemic, when everyone was working from home, energy consumption on campus only dropped by 15%, meaning a lot of energy is still being wasted. And this is where Ampera comes in to find a solution for this problem.
We are a business that is focused on maximizing energy efficiency by suggesting and incentivizing sustainable behavior from employees, as well as promoting socializing. With our AI, we provide a solution that is data-driven and ultimately gamifies energy savings for the end users. For example, someone would be working in an area by themselves. The app would suggest to them to go join a bigger group or use a natural light source and be awarded for that. And automatically the lights would turn off in that area. Within the Monash context, we could also promote own campus events on the energy heat map. We are wanting to target companies that are not only wanting to cut their energy bills, but companies that want to integrate sustainability into their ethos.
Ampera will also be available to clients in a subscription format. We intend to charge 10% of the client's forecasted annual savings, which will be broken down into monthly payments. We will also consultancy service to clients beginning at $10,000. This amount may be adjusted according to the size of the project. This service would include research and recommendations for hardware that would achieve the best possible results for the client. As an indication of how scalable this business could be, we also included a projected annual revenue of $13.6 million for a portfolio of 5 clients.
At Ampera, we're planning to implement a 5-stage process to launch our product to market. First, we will develop a working prototype of the Energy Management System, EMS, and Ampera application. We will then test the connectivity and integration with the Internet of Things hardware. Then, to Monash University, we will use the university as a test bed to prove that both the EMS software and Ampera application work in providing efficiency gains. We will then demonstrate the working software and functionality of the product to potential stakeholders, as well as show results from the proof of concept study. Finally, the app will be polished to a market-ready modular version prepared for client uptake. Our channel partners will predominantly be, but generally, and in the specific case of universities, it'll be a mixture of university departments as well as student representative bodies. Possible plans for the future include using the modular design to scale Ampera up, increasing the range of devices that the system can control, partnerships with other sustainability-focused businesses, as well as integrating more services and revenue generation streams into our business model. We think Ampera is the most effective solution because it provides a convenient, real-time way to manage energy consumption, which will ultimately improve energy efficiency, reduce expenses, and help curb climate change.
And this is the team that will be behind Ampera. Thank you for listening.
All right, brilliant. Thank you very much, guys. And I'm happy to see what you guys did with the prompt. I'm a fan of the IoT and gamifying things. I think it's an interesting way to solve a problem. So this is, would I have it right by saying that this is sort of the proof of concept would be on Monash campuses, and then it's your goal to scale it up to, is it businesses or is it other Monash, or is it other university campuses?
So it'll start with Monash, Clayton, and then it could expand to other campuses, and then following that, probably other universities that want to, you know, integrate this concept. And then we also think that, you know, other companies that are not universities could also get involved, because ultimately, like, the goal of the concept is to reduce energy wasted, and that's not like specific to universities. So yeah.
All right, great. Thanks, guys. Now, did you have a question?
Oh, I did. Thanks, Alex. One of my questions has been cleared up through the conversation with Alex. So I just wanted to clarify: is it a B2B or B2C business model? But it is a B2B. I have two questions. One is, can you elaborate? Sorry if I step back. It seems to me that changing behaviour is a means of reducing energy wastage. Is how your idea is being pitched, and you're using gamification as a means of doing it. Can you just elaborate a little bit more what you mean by that? How you'll incentivize behaviour change through gamification?
Yeah, so the main idea would be on the app that we would be planning to run ads, and the players, as they earn points, we would try to make the points relative to how much energy they're saving. And so from those points, they would be able to cash in some of the ad revenue.
Right, okay. So students would be able to participate in the value being created. Great idea. And the subscription, the second question, the subscription concept, is that universities being subscribers or other businesses, or is it individual people like students subscribing?
So it would be the client. So ultimately, like, Ampera is an energy management system, and the app is basically just the interface that the users interact with the system. So yeah, the companies would be the ones taking up the system, and they would be the ones paying for the subscription.
Right, and your $13 million is subscription revenue, is that?
Yeah, for like a whole year, accumulatively across like 5 clients of different sizes.
Right, okay. Great, thank you.
I was wondering if you could elaborate a bit more on your forecasted earnings. Like, what assumptions went into that figure?
Sorry, could you repeat?
With your projected earnings from the 5 different clients, like, what assumptions did you make in coming to that number at the end?
Yeah, so the number was calculated across 5 clients, 3 of which would be like the size of Monash, and then 2 of which would be half the size of Monash. So we just it was just to get a ballpark number of like what this app could do. It was kind of used by multiple clients, and the assumptions were based off of energy consumption by on-campus accommodation at Monash. And we just kind of took like the energy consumption per building, multiplied it across the number of buildings on campus, and then calculated it. I calculated the amount spent on that amount of energy consumed. And I think we also used some statistics that we found about the utility bills for Monash in like 2018 or 2019, and just kind of extrapolated it and just assumed that the clients we'll be dealing with would have similar expenses. Yeah.
Yeah, if I can just add something as well. So our main point of reference was the data that we had on Monash, and we had data, sort of a breakdown of where Monash's main energy usage is, as well as sort of how much they spent annually on electricity and gas. And we used that, and then we sort of predicted how much we can save using our energy management system software. And then, so we estimated around 20% saving, and then we used sort of our subscription would get us 10% of that energy saving. amount per year, and then we sort of, like Shah said, we multiplied it accordingly based on the number of businesses.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, nice work, guys. I've got a question. You mentioned that you would use the app and the heat mapping abilities to advertise events. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Yeah, and I think it touches on some of the questions that are happening in the Q&A. So the thing that we are also providing on top of just the energy management is where we have direct access to the users themselves. So we are not only providing a system that looks at where the energy is being expended, but we would be having that social aspect. So for example, similar to Snap Maps on Snapchat, there would be areas where they would promote events. And so we could have, say, MSA using this app also, describing where the different locations of the different events are happening also. So we're adding that social aspect as well as prompting users where they can save energy.
All right, great, well done. Okay, well, we'll leave it there. Thank you very much for your presentation. So everyone, we will have a break now and we'll return in 15 minutes. So at 4:20, we'll come back to finish the rest of the presentations. So thank you very much to everyone who's presented so far. Well done.